What's up, y'all? Today we're going to be talking about some of the best sites for you to get access to personal loans. Then I'll also be giving you guys some of the benefits of personal loans, as well as some of the tactics I would use to be able to make sure that I'm getting the best rates on any of the loans that I do get. So if that's something that interests you, be sure you stay tuned. Now, first off, when it comes to the benefits of personal loans, I think that where they really strive or really actually shine is whenever you're trying to do some sort of debt consolidation, okay? Now, this typically is happening whenever you're trying to refinance out of debt that might be more expensive, right? And you found that you can get a cheaper interest rate if you switch from a personal loan, right? So you kind of look at things like if you have credit card debt, right? Some people have credit cards, they have interest rates as high as 29%, maybe even higher, right? And in those situations, it might make sense for you to get a personal loan where maybe you had a rate of, even if you get a personal loan with a rate of 12%, it's still a better deal than you paying 29% trying to pay off something, right? So that's situations where it can make sense, right? The interest rate, as well as if maybe you're getting overwhelmed by how many different credit card payments you're making, for example. Maybe you have different debts that are spread out amongst different accounts, right? And these little accounts aren't much one by one, but because you're having to make a bunch of minimum payments across the board, it's really, hurting you financially. So it might be a situation where, let's say you have 10 different payments that you're making and you want to consolidate it into one payment that you'll be making, right? That's another situation where personal loans can really be beneficial. Now, when it comes to some of the top personal loan companies that I have here, just a quick note, I wanted to avoid mentioning or discussing any interest rates for a few reasons. One, the interest rates, they just fluctuate, right? So depending on when you're watching this, they wouldn't be accurate anyways. And two, the final actual interest rate that you're going to get actually depends on your financial profile. So I could say that, their interest rates are as, one company's interest rates are as low as 2% or something, right? Just for example. And when you go to apply, you don't get anywhere near 2% because of what your financial profile looks like. So instead, what I'd rather do and what makes more sense is me talk about what these companies offer in terms of how the amounts and things like that. And all these companies that I mentioned will actually be doing soft credit pulls on your profile and then give you an initial offer. So what that means is you can actually just have them do the actual soft pull across all three of these companies, and then you decide which one's giving you the best rates. So to jump right off the bat, the first company that I would recommend is Upstart Loans. Now, they don't have any set credit score requirements, and I'll explain that here in a second, but they actually offer, the loan amount that they offer is $1,000 all the way up to $50,000, right? So it's gonna be a little lower than the next two that I'm gonna mention, but again, they don't ask for really any type of credit score. There's no real minimum. What they do want is they look at things like your debt to income ratio. That's gonna be very important to them. They're gonna wanna see that you have a debt to income ratio that can't be any higher than up to 50% depending on what state you're in. Okay. Also, they're going to want to see that you don't have any more than, or you have less than 6 hard inquiries in the last 6 months. This is not including any inquiries that you might have for student loans, auto loans, or mortgages. On top of that, they're going to want to see that you don't have any sort of public record or bankruptcy or even delinquent accounts. So you really want to make sure that you're caught up on you're current on all your accounts that are reporting to your credit report before you actually apply for Upstart. Now, if you haven't seen the video that I shot previously about Upstart, they're trying to move towards finding ways to qualify you outside of your credit score. What their philosophy is that the credit score is a little bit flawed because it kind of focuses on, it doesn't get a full financial picture that you have. So they'll typically want to do things like being able to link to your bank account just to pull a snapshot of your bank account and get an idea how your transactions have been looking. And that's what they're really going to try to base off or use to be able to base how much money you should get and whether you should get approved at all. Now, the next company I have on my list is going to be SoFi. SoFi is now offering personal loans. Back in the day when they first started, they were really focused on student loans, at least whenever I first found them, right? And now they're, branching out to different, all these different fields, right? They've gotten into even offering SoFi Money. They've offered personal loans. Wouldn't be surprised if they even do auto loans at this point. But, they're kind of just trying to be your one-stop shop when it comes to anything related to finances. And so they're pretty much looking for folks to have good to excellent credit. Really, their demographic is going to be people who have, graduated from, college or university or whatever the case may be, and who are kind of just joining into the workforce, right? That's their target market. And so when it comes to the loan amount, you can kind of see that their loan amount they're offering as low as $5,000 all the way up to $100,000 in terms of how much you can get for a personal loan. But when it comes to the estimated credit score, you can expect them to want something around 680 for a credit score and above. Okay. So what I recommend is you can actually go to their website and see what your rate would be through a soft credit pull. Right, they'll allow you to do freeze, or they'll pull your credit without actually hurting your credit, and then you can see if you would get approved and what kind of rate you would get if you got approved. The next company is going to be Lightstream. Lightstream is pretty similar to SoFi, except that they will accept a little bit lower of credit. They're looking for good credit, right? So I'd be thinking something in a range of 640, 650 and above. Okay. Now they're going to be offering the same amount. It's going to be $5,000 to $100,000 in terms of the loan amount. And, they're another good company that's going to be able to do the soft pull as well. So you'll want to reach out to them. Really, the way I would look at it is you'll want to reach out to all three of them, right? And have each of them do a soft credit pull. And based off of those three soft credit pulls, whichever one gives you what looks like to be the better offer, that's the one you can take, right? So that's kind of the reason why I don't want to be naming rates or anything like that, because, I think that it's going to come down to what kind of packages each of those companies are giving you, or each of these sites are giving you, right? Really what you want to focus on, two main things, is the interest rate and any possible additional fees that they might charge, right? Because some of these companies might charge origination fees. They might have these little fees tacked on, but once you kind of get at least a proposal from each of them, right? Once they do a soft credit pull, and they kind of give you a proposal of how, what the amounts would be, so on and so forth, and give you a general idea. That can tell you which company that you want to move forward with. Okay, so that's kind of how I would look at it. Now, again, for some of these loans, you will need to have good to excellent credit to be able to qualify for these loans. So I do recommend working to improve your credit score before actually applying for some of these loans. Okay, so it just kind of depends where your situation is. I recommend you at least look at your score to get a general idea where you are, so you don't have any unexpected anything unexpected happen, right? Where you get rejected when you thought you were going to get approved for a loan, whatever the case may be. So those should be great options for you if you're looking to get access to a personal loan. Now, if you're interested in learning how to go about actually improving your credit score even further, then check out this video that I shot right here that I put up. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down how your credit score is calculated and how you can make sure that you have the highest possible credit score before applying for any, big ticket items, things like a mortgage or an auto loan, whatever else loans that you might be looking at. Okay. So be sure that you check out this video and be sure that you hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And I will see you at the next one. Peace.